Hi there guys and welcome to this video. So if you don't know the channel and you're new, here we talk about natural bodybuilding, trying to bring some honesty as well in the fitness industry, bringing up a controversial subject, and obviously steroid talk, which I try to spread awareness. But today we're gonna talk about a subject which is pretty controversial and something that while I've been training all these years, I've been triggering me a bit, and this is the personal trainers that we see in the fitness industry. So a lot of you who train already, have been training for a few years, must have noticed already when you're training into gyms that personal trainers are pretty questionable. The way they teach things is pretty questionable. So do you just need money to become a personal trainer? What I've noticed nowadays is that you only need to spend $1,000, 1,000 quid to actually become a personal trainer. So we now see personal trainers who become a PT within 4 or 5 weeks of courses. So something that's always been bugging me is that can you actually teach someone how to become bigger, to develop a great physique, if you're dealing with someone who's only been taught these things for 4 or 5 weeks? You know, are the clients going to get the results that they expect if they actually sign up with personal trainers who had a 4 to 5 weeks course? And that's where, in my opinion, the answer is no. We'll discuss later the fact that some people might already have experience, and so the ones who have experience and get the course in 4 or 5 weeks, it's pretty good for them. They don't have to go through a lot of crap and relearn everything that they already know. But the issue here is that the people who don't know anything can also get the same qualifications within 4 or 5 weeks, even though they had no previous experience. And the only thing that I see in a 4 or 5 week course is that it's a 4 or 5 week course where you just have time to basically read about the theory, so you don't have any practice behind. So it's a bit basically like saying that a tennis player can become tennis teacher if he's been going for a course of 4 or 5 weeks. Well, no, the person is gonna really struggle if he's never grabbed a racket and tried to play tennis, if it's only the theory. And in my opinion here, it's the same when you're actually gonna have to teach people one-to-one, and that you're gonna actually be in care of someone's body. This is actually pretty dangerous in the end, because in the middle term or long term, if you're not teaching the right things to the person is gonna be damaged from it. There are also PTs who really don't look like they lift. So here, I think that it's not because you don't look like you've been lifting that you shouldn't be teaching, because in some cases, if you've really been in the field of fitness and that you actually understand really how it works and you've got a lot of experience into this, you could be teaching someone if you've always been around other people and you've followed their experience. But in most cases, this is not really what happens. If you're gonna see someone who is skinny in the gym and is a personal trainer teaching how to build muscle, unless he's been injured before, he lost all his muscles, then there is a chance that the skinny guy basically has never got the experience to actually be able to teach something, and he's just got a bit of theory, which obviously is not enough. And so what I've noticed in the gyms is that we see more and more of these people who actually don't look physically built the way that you would expect them, so they can actually teach you the practice. So that's something that obviously is pretty bad. And as well, what I've seen is not only this, but sometimes they teach pretty bad form and they don't understand programming, etc. They just put you on the cables, then just give you a little pump. Basically, the clients are really losing their money nowadays in the fitness industry. And also the theoretical papers that you have to go through in the PT courses, which are 4 to 5 weeks. Usually the thing is they're actually not even really teaching the truth. It's a lot of science. But sometimes, as I explained in another video, science is good, the basics of science for bodybuilding, but at some point when you get too deep and too complicated, too much in the details, it actually, you get confused. You don't need this confusion, because bodybuilding is pretty simple. It's sticking to the basics, sticking to pretty simple things. So of course, knowing these simple things aren't that simple because there is a lot of misinformation, but once you know them, it's actually pretty simple. And so that's the issue. Not only these people learn some theory in 4 or 5 weeks, but this theory isn't actually very good either. They haven't got any experience, and they also are learning things that aren't good. Simply, you see PTs nowadays on their phones while the person is doing some deadlift with terrible form. I've seen that before. I mean, that might also be a problem of the person, just not being someone who cares about their clients, because nowadays it only takes 4 or 5 weeks to actually get a course, a license of personal trainer. It doesn't surprise me, it's easy, so people haven't invested much. They're not scared of doing that, of losing their job, because they can actually find another one in another gym very easily. So I think that just like the fitness industry as a whole, when you see bodybuilders roided up, taking a bunch of product and the industry just looking pretty disgusting, it doesn't surprise me that the PT industry is the same way. So now my opinion about these 4 to 5 week crash courses. They're actually great for people who have a bunch of experience. I've always found it quite frustrating that you have to actually do 2 or 3 years to basically be able to teach people how to build muscle when you already have basically the experience. So I think there is a lot of theoretical stuff which is important, like anatomy, which you never learn enough of it, but it's a bit annoying to have to go through sometimes this theory that is not always right into building muscle, which is this theory which is very scientific and actually written by people who haven't got the experience of building muscle. And so for people who actually have long time experience, have proved themselves to build muscle, these courses can actually be quite good. I think it helps them getting the license they basically deserve without having to go through another 3 years of learning basically how to build muscle if they already mostly know it. But where it's an issue is when everyone can actually jump on these courses and get this license, personal training license, in a month when they actually haven't had any experience. But this would be hard to filter. So I would rather have license that you can get in 2 or 3 years and not have any 4 weeks, 5 weeks license, that because nowadays everyone jumps on it and they just actually have to spend 1,000 grand to get this license. And that's why we see so much misinformation. That's why we see so many bad PTs who shouldn't be there. The list that you'd expect from these personal trainers would actually just to know basically what the calories intake are like, what's a bulk, what's a cut, what's maintenance, the repetition of nutrients as well. So the basics are not even really followed, and it should be pretty easy. But I don't think that the courses that they give today are actually this way. They're pretty much part of the misinformation. So at least if we could have something a bit longer, 5 or 6 months, something which actually teaches the right things of natural bodybuilding, or the right things of getting in a better health condition with understanding how really calories work. So obviously I'm not saying that all PTs don't know this. There may be half of them who know that, but there is another half, growing other half nowadays, who don't really know their stuff. This is really what I've witnessed in the gym. That's why I want to finish this video with saying choose your PT wisely, and not even that, don't actually take a PT. I don't think you should get a PT. But if you do want to get a personal trainer, then my advice is to really look up for the person you want to hire. That can be done online or one-to-one. This is really up to you. But research about the person before, research about their experience, research if you're a natural bodybuilder, if they're on steroids or not. Not saying that all people on steroids don't know their stuff, but as I explained in other videos, a lot of them in the industry nowadays are getting results through the drugs that they take rather than the actual experience that they have and the knowledge that they have. So be careful about this. Check, for example, their social media, how long they've been there, what kind of advice they give, ask other people if they've seen results. You just want to know basically if some people went from A to B. Did people get results when they went with this person, actual results? And yeah, you have to check the person, you have to ask questions, look up the price as well. I think someone who is really making you pay a lot for his services, like it's a bit ridiculous, like, so don't fall for this as well. Otherwise, like I said, you should probably not have a PT, because I think that you have all the information on the internet. You just need to find the right information online, and there are many people nowadays who will give better advice on YouTube channel. So there is Geoffrey, there is Scofield, for example, there is Natural Hypertrophy, there is myself, who try to, obviously a small channel, but you can stick to my advice and I think you will really improve. And there are other people who are ready to give right advice, like Alpha Destiny. All basically the natural bodybuilders, I think, of YouTube are actually giving decent advice. So find them. Don't overcomplicate bodybuilding. Stick to the basics. That's the best advice I can give you. because imagine if you have to pay a personal trainer to train 3 times a week with you, like 50 quid a session, that's like 150, 500 a month multiplied by 12, it's like more than 5,000 quid. So you really don't want to go that path. I think it's pretty ridiculous. And I understand that today it is hard to find the right information online because there is so much misinformation, but if you stick to the right people, you will actually be able to improve and you will save money. So guys, don't overcomplicate bodybuilding. Be careful with the PTs nowadays in the fitness industry. Do your own research, be wise, type the right things, try to be intelligent in what you're researching. And if you don't know, try to stay simple in your training, eat a lot, train hard, and things will come your way. So thanks for watching, guys. I would advise you to leave the comments under the video. It's a small channel, so I can actually go case by case and help you improve if you wish. And maybe if the channel grows a bit more, it will get harder to do this. So I'd rather have you really ask your questions now. I'll probably do some Q&A as well at some point to try and actually help people have some sort of interaction, because being behind your phone doing videos like this is a bit boring. You want to kind of interact with people as well. So yeah, if you like the video, guys, I hope you did. Feel free to share, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.